Prince William sets his sights on Rio, but will Catherine be there to see it? Hello dear viewers, and welcome back to our channel, where we dive into all the royal drama, milestones, and quiet power plays that keep the House of Windsor endlessly fascinating. Today, we have a story that's equal parts grand international ambition, emotional family question mark, and a bold glimpse into what Prince William's monarchy might actually look like. Because this isn't just any royal trip. This is William, eyes bright, planting his flag, quite literally, on the future. And his chosen Rio de Janeiro, one of the world's most vibrant, chaotic, sun-soaked cities, as the stage. But just behind the dazzling headlines, there's a more tender uncertainty. Will Princess Catherine stand beside him for this pivotal moment? Or will this triumph also be marked by an empty space at William's side? Not your average royal tour. Let's be clear. This is not your standard royal ribbon-cutting, polite banquet, or polite smile and wave for Commonwealth unity engagement. This is William in full throttle, pushing forward with the project he hopes will define his life's work, the Earthshot Prize. Launched in 2021, Earthshot isn't just a royal passion project. It's a sweeping, audacious effort to hunt down and turbocharge the world's best solutions for saving our beleaguered planet. The prize awards 5 winners each year a staggering £1 million. That's not a ceremonial trophy, it's real cash meant to scale life-changing ideas fast. William wants measurable change, not just soft PR. And now, by choosing Rio as the next stage, he's dialed the ambition up several notches. The big reveal and the energy was contagious. During London Climate Action Week, William couldn't hide his excitement. Royal watchers said he looked visibly energized, speaking with a kind of brisk confidence that signaled this isn't about performing duties anymore, it's about living out a personal mission. The setting for the 2025 Earthshot Awards. Rio's jaw-dropping Museum of Tomorrow. Think sweeping white arches that look like a spaceship cracked open by sunlight. The symbolism is almost too perfect. Tomorrow, innovation, urgent optimism. Jason North, Earthshot's high-powered CEO and longtime William confidant, promised this would be their grandest event yet. It was a moment thick with symbolism. Not only will the Earthshot ceremony take place there on November 5th, but Brazil is also hosting the critical COP30 climate summit just days afterward. It's strategic genius. William is planting his prize smack in the middle of the global climate conversation, tying Earthshot and by extension, himself to the fate of the Amazon rainforest and all the high-stakes decisions leaders will be making there. Why Rio? And why now? This is the first time William is bringing Earthshot to Latin America. It sends a loud, unmistakable message that he wants his monarchy to have reach and relevance far beyond the traditional royal playgrounds of Europe and the Commonwealth. Brazil's flamboyant mayor of Rio, Eduardo Paz, even flew to London to stand shoulder to shoulder with William for the announcement. He beamed about how proud Rio was to host the world's most prestigious and impactful environment prize. A little local showmanship. Sure. But also a sign that William's initiative is being embraced not just politely, but enthusiastically, by major players on the world stage. For William, this is the culmination of over a decade of effort to build something real. He doesn't just want to cut ribbons and wave from balconies. He wants to carve out a legacy of tangible positive change by 2030, to use his own words. That means clean oceans, restored forests, thriving wildlife, all accelerated by the best minds and funded directly by Earthshot. The quiet question everyone's asking, will Catherine be there? But for all this global momentum, there's a much more personal subplot that's impossible to ignore. As soon as William confirmed he'd be heading to Rio, the next question on every royal watcher's lips was painfully human. Will Catherine be by his side? Last year, Catherine's absence from the Earthshot ceremony in Cape Town was keenly felt. She was undergoing her intense, still very private cancer treatment, and the outpouring of concern from around the world was enormous. The last time we saw her at Earthshot was in Boston back in 2022, dazzling in a green rented gown that signaled the event's eco-ethos and also showed the couple's unity. So far, the palace has only confirmed William's attendance. Nothing official on Catherine. The hope, of course, is that she'll be well enough to travel by November and make what would be an incredibly powerful appearance, standing next to William, radiant and strong, signaling not just personal recovery but a shared royal future. Until that's certain, though, there's a note of bittersweet tension running underneath all the triumphant Earthshot headlines. The heir shaping his own brand of monarchy. What's impossible to miss in all this is how different William's style is from the old Windsor playbook. He's not leaning on centuries of pageantry, or even the old Diana-adjacent glamour he could easily ride. Instead, he's building a monarchy that's less about stately rituals and more about dynamic partnerships, problem-solving, and facing the biggest threats to humanity head-on. Just look at the language around Earthshot. Words like urgency, solutions, action, scale. This isn't velvet diplomacy or heritage preservation. This is William using his royal platform to become a sort of global CEO of environmental hope. And it's working. Sponsors are flocking in, city mayors are practically auditioning to host future ceremonies, and scientists from around the globe are pitching ideas that could revolutionize everything from coral reef restoration to carbon capture. Even the most jaded royal analysts admit, this is the strongest evidence yet that William's reign, whenever it officially begins, won't just be Charles 2.0. It will look and sound very different. Possibly more activist, more tech-driven, more geared toward planetary survival than polite national unity. What this means for the future of the crown and for us. If you've followed royal news for any length of time, you know how often future monarchs promise modernization that ends up looking like more of the same. That's why Rio matters. It's not just another royal tour. It's a marker in the sand. William is telling us what he cares about most, and is doing it on a scale few other royals ever attempt. It also means the monarchy's future will be intertwined with the success of Earthshot. If these projects flourish, if we start seeing dying rivers rebound and cities go carbon neutral thanks to winners funded by William's prize, it will cement his reputation as a modern monarch who didn't just smile for cameras, he actually left the planet better off. And now, we wait for Catherine. Of course, all of this would have a different emotional resonance if Catherine appears beside him in Rio. That would transform it from a purely professional milestone into a profoundly hopeful family image. The future king and queen, side by side, facing down the world's most terrifying problems with poise, compassion, and a bit of understated glamour. Until then, William stands ready to shoulder this mission alone if he must, brimming with that particular blend of nerves and delight you only see when someone realizes they're not just attending history, they're shaping it. So what do you think? Is William successfully forging a bold new path for the monarchy, or is this just clever rebranding wrapped in climate buzzwords? And how much does Catherine's presence, or absence, change the power of this moment for you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. You know we love hearing your takes, and it keeps this little royal circle of ours alive and debating. If you enjoyed this deeper look behind the royal curtain, give us a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss another episode of Palace Ambition, Hidden Heartbreak, and the kind of hope that might just save us all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon with more from the world of royalty.